What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Nicky Hawkins, West Ham Fan TV, back once again with another West Ham Fan TV live. As you can see, I've got custody of the Pixel today. It's right there. So I'm back on the controls. Ryan, how you doing, mate?
No, I ain't happy, mate. I want the Pixel back. Yeah, no, I'm good, mate. I'm all right. You?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Obviously, it's been a week and a half since we've done one of these, mate.
Yeah, we've had a couple of charity nights. We was at a charity night last Thursday, and you was at Aston Villa on Monday. So yeah, it's been we've missed the last couple of weeks, but no, ready to go, mate. Back on it.
I think a good place to start is Aston Villa. What did you think of the performance? And I don't know whether you read the title, mate. Is this man the worst referee in the world?
Yeah, the first part, yeah. I mean, it was a mixed game, wasn't it, really? I think it was a fair result in the end, the draw. I think Villa had the better chances. We were the better team. So I think it's a fair result. I mean, we could have nicked it. I think what ruined it for us is the sending off, Masuaku. I think I'll give Pellegrini praise because bringing on 4 nows, he could have easily brought on Snodgrass, which he usually does. But he brought on 4 nows to go for it, and then Masuaku got sent off and they had to sacrifice Anderson. So I think it was a fair result in the end. Good point away from home against a tough team.
Yeah, I was obviously at the game, so I could see everything as it was unfolding right in front of my eyes. Very, very questionable decisions by the referee. I don't want to blame the referee because I thought Villa's defence was solid. I thought our defence was solid. I think we cancelled each other out, really well. It's a tough place to go, as I said to guys before. Anywhere you go in the Premier League for an away game is going to be tough. I think they was well organised. Didn't really threaten much, but I didn't think we did either. They probably had the better of the chances. But I think the game was spoiled by a bad referee, Ryan. I think it was spoiled by a bad referee. I can't stand the man. I don't know whether many people know this, but he got pulled out of the 2006 FA Cup final because of impartiality questions over him refereeing a West Ham game. So that always has to make you think. If that's the case and they've done that before, do you think that he should be refereeing West Ham games?
Yeah, I mean it's a difficult one in here. Look, he's at the end of the day, he's a Premier League ref. They have to referee a certain amount of games, don't they, and a certain amount of teams. But yeah, I mean, look, it's all about Mike Dean. You hear the fans singing it on Monday night. It's always the Mike Dean show, whatever game he does. He always has to make it about him. I think that was his 102nd red card in his career that he's given. So yeah, you're right, mate. Look, no one.
Put it into perspective, mate. 102 red cards in the Premier League for his Premier League career, and the next down for him is on 65.
He's only refereed 104 games. No, joking, but no. Look, the Masuaku one is the thing is, some people are saying, "Oh, it's definitely a yellow. It's not a yellow." Look, if you look at the replay, it's not a yellow card. In fast play, Masuaku had done a couple of fouls before that as well, so it was a build up of it. But the thing is with Reed, he can't wait to get his cards out. He can't wait to send a player off. And yeah, it spoiled the game for me. It spoiled the momentum we had, and because I think with Anderson still on the pitch, I think we'd have won that game.
Just the gaming says at the bottom. I remember when he gave Faguli a red card when he got scissor tackled by Phil Jones.
Yeah, that was the Man United at home game when we lost 2-0 when what was his name? Zlatan scored a couple that game. Yeah, it's not the first time it's going to happen, and we're not going to be the first set of fans that sit here and moan about him this season because he's an atrocious ref. He always has been, and as we said, it's always got to be about him. The Mike Dean show.
Yeah, I think it was poor. The thing is with that, Ryan, there's a couple of things in the game. Now, somebody's just put up here. Do you think Mark Noble should have been? There you go. Matt Powell just said, do you think Mark Noble should have been given a second yellow for diving? Look, I'm going to be biased, obviously, but I don't think he dived. I think he just lost his footing.
I agree. I agree, mate. I think what people got to realise is that when you play football, these pitches are wet. Aston Villa, they put the sprinklers on at half time. You're running at full pace anything, any little tap is going to go down. You see by his reaction, I think he knew he got up straight away. He didn't appeal for it. The same thing happened to Grealish the week before at Crystal Palace. He went down. He got straight back up. Villa scored, but the ref give it a free kick for diving. Now, sometimes you've got to realise that the game is played at a fast pace. We might not think someone like Martin Noble's fast, but I bet he can run a lot quicker than a lot of us. You know what I mean? It's a fast-paced game, and you're going to get any little touch, you slip on the pitch, whatever. It's you get knocked off balance, you're going to go down. But he didn't appeal for it. He got straight back up, and that was it. I don't think he was a booking, personally.
So we give, obviously, Masuaku a second yellow for a tackle that was innocuous at best. I don't think he barely touched him. And then he waved away a penalty in the last dying seconds, mate. Now, I've seen this back about 4 or 5 times today, right? I was just watching this before, I was catching up with the highlights, obviously. But I think that's a penalty. He comes right across him. He's beat him. He hasn't got the ball when he's knocked his ankles. It's no different to what Masuaku got sent off for.
I'll be honest with you, mate. I think Fredericks was looking for it. I think he was looking for that penalty.
There was contact, and as you say, at fast pace like that, he's beat him. The ball's right next to him, so it wasn't like he couldn't get up. I think that's a penalty.
Yeah, it's both ways, mate. It could have been given, and it wasn't given. So it's one of them ones. I mean, if that had been down the other end, and that would have been Aston Villa, I mean, we'd be sitting here now saying, "Nah, it's definitely not a penalty." It's VAR have looked at it. At the time, I didn't think it was a penalty. Me personally, I think Fredericks had burst into the box. There was no one in there. He probably, he's looking for it. Any sort of little touch, he's going to go down. I think Fredericks' reaction sort of told you it as well. He sort of had a little smirk on his face. I think he knew that it wasn't a penalty and it was just one of them. But you had the chance after where Fornals, smash it, have a go, I don't see why he was. Look, I can understand he wants to set up Haller, but have a go. You can hit a ball. We know you can. We see you do it for the Spain under-21s in the summer. Have a go. Be a hero. Run over to the crowd. Dive in it.
Not starting. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, look, you come on in the Premier League in that late. It takes time to get into a game, But he should be fresh, raring to go. He's not in the team, so he needs to. If he scores that, he plays his way into the team for Sunday, against Man United.
Matt Powell, once again, what are your thoughts on El Ghazi and Ming's clash of heads? Should they have been booked or sent off? No.
Teammates do that. Look, teammates do it. It's frustration. It was coming together.
If they're sitting there punching the living daylights out of each other, yeah, you got to do something just to.
If it was like the Bowyer and Kieran Dyer situation, yeah, you send them both off. But it was a coming together. 2 frustrated players. He's shouting at him. He don't like. Obviously, the other player don't like being shouted at. Tyrone Mings has reacted. He's got in his face. The other geezer's had a little flick at his head. It happens. Look, if that was Noble and Declan Rice, I wouldn't want to see them being sent off for it. I like the passion from the players.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it was a fair result. Do you see it as an opportunity wasted, Ryan?
No, I don't. Look, we're unbeaten away from home this season in all competitions, including the Cup. And as I said, look, 3 points would have been brilliant. It would have been the best thing in the world. We'd have gone up to 3rd in the table. But look, it's a point away from home, against a tough team. Villa Park was rocking. I could hear it on the telly. It's a tough place to go. They're still a championship team. So I know they've signed a lot of players, but they've just come up. So it was always going to be difficult, and they could have nicked it themselves at the end. I mean, their player, their striker, went down. He should have been booked for his diving. It was unbelievable. One thing, what did frustrate me in that game is, I thought Haller had a great game. The one thing with Haller, I just want him to be a bit more greedy. He's always getting that. He's always looking to play people in. Have a turn and shot like Aubameyang done for Arsenal against Watford. Got the ball in the box, turned, smashed it. Just be a little bit more greedy. I can understand that's the way he plays, but just be a little bit more greedy sometimes, because if he does that, he's going to get a lot more goals.
Yeah, look, the thing is, I said the same thing, but that is his game. He brings people into play. What we should be doing as a teammate is getting people around him, and we don't seem to do that. I mean, parts of our play, I'm happy that we got the point. I thought defensively we looked brilliant. We still lack that little bit of cutting edge when we break, and it seems like Anderson against Norwich was brilliant. He was taking people on. Everything he'd done come off. He looked an absolute world-class player. He done the same thing again yesterday, and that's checking and coming backwards when he should be going forwards.
I don't know if you was thinking the same thing, mate, when you was there, but for me, and that would have been a perfect game for Antonio. I think that's what we was just missing. Someone like Antonio, because Anderson, you're right. He gets past people and then he checks back. We seem to be in this little. We've got these players now like Lanzini as well round the box. They're always looking for the 1-2s and the little breakthroughs, but just have a pop, have a dig at goal. Anything.
It was frustrating me. Yarmolenko was non-existent. I'll be honest with you, mate. I can't see him playing for much longer if he keeps on putting in performances like that. He's wasting his opportunity.
Well, the thing is, you say that, I thought he was good against Norwich, and then he let himself down a bit the other night against Villa. I thought he started off all right, but then he's another one that he wants to try to do little flicks all the time. Like, just get your foot on the ball, play football. We all want to see our players doing tricks and flicks and that, but sometimes just go old school. Get your foot on the ball and have a go, because he can hit a ball.
Get chalk on your boots, mate. That's what I was always told when I was at school. Not that I got out there much often, but
I mean, Yarmolenko's a decent player, but me personally, I think Fornals might start over him on Sunday against United.
I think he should. Who gets the left back? Who gets the nod at left back? There's a big massive debate going on.
You've obviously got Zabaleta, Creswell, Ben Johnson. You could even, if Pellegrini could even bring Balbuena back in and play Ogbonna left back. There's a lot of options there. For me, I didn't think Zabaleta had a bad game when he come on. I thought he looked quicker at left back than he does at right back.
I'll be honest, mate. I thought he had a solid game, Zabaleta. He was really good. The only thing that annoyed me about it is, is Cresswell fit? I don't know. Is he just being left out of the squad? I don't know. He's got to play. If that's the case, if Cresswell ain't fit for me, I don't think Johnson's quite ready for that. Although he did get chucked in at Man City, done really well. But Zaba's got to play. But it worries me with the pace, because that's one thing he does lack is pace. And you've got people like Martial and. I think there's a lot of people not training from United this week. We'll talk about that in a minute. But obviously, you've got the likes of Martial, and if they're fit, obviously Daniel James is very fast. And who's the other one? Marcus Rashford. He's got wingers with a lot of pace.
I think maybe, Aaron Creswell hasn't had a great start to the season, but maybe chucking him in, because if you want someone to get up and down that wing a bit more to help Anderson out, you ain't going to expect that from Zabaleta. So Creswell could be an option. Ben Johnson, he might be a surprise selection, but that's what I said as well. Ogbonna has played left back before, so maybe chucking Balbuena in alongside Diop and play Ogbonna left back. But you don't really want to break up that partnership with Diop and Ogbonna at the moment, because they're playing really well together.
Mm-hmm. Liam Bishop says maybe if we kept Sam Byram, things would be a bit different. He had a solid game, Sam Byram, for Norwich the other day. Obviously, he's not our player anymore, so we shouldn't really be talking about him at all, really. John Italiano 1985 says Fornals need minutes at some point. I definitely agree. I thought he was very much improved the other day when he came on. I thought he'd done well apart from not shooting. Where would Anderson play with Lanzini on the left?
On the right. No, Lanzini. It's going to be. Pellegrini's got a tough choice on Sunday because there's loads of different options he can do. You know, me personally, I think he'll probably stick with the same team. We'll probably see Yarmolenko starting on Sunday, but there is different options. You could maybe chuck sort of. You could drop Yarmolenko and put Lanzini out there, and maybe bring Jack Wilshere into the middle. There's loads of different options. So it's going to be interesting, but as you said, it's going to be tough against United. I know they're not the greatest team anymore, but they've still got players that can finish us within seconds. You know, Martial being one of them.
Are you confident for Sunday?
Yeah, do you know what? The funny thing is, I was talking about this today, is that over the years growing up, going over the bowling ground, and you know, when you play Man United, you'd be buzzing with a draw against them. But I'll be honest with you, mate. I'll be disappointed if we don't get 3 points on Sunday. I think we're good enough. I think squad player for player, I think we're up there with them. Man United are not the Man United of old. We know that. As I said, they have got players that can tear us apart, but we've got players that can rip them apart. Last season, we beat them 3-1. They probably had a better squad last season than probably what they've got now. So it's gonna be interesting. It will be interesting, but I think we're good enough to beat them, mate. I've got all confidence in our players, and I think we've got players that can step up their game. It'll be live on Sky Sports, early kickoff at home. You know, we've got a good record at home at the moment. We're on a good run at home. You know, it's always a good place, the London Stadium, when we're winning and we're playing well. So hopefully we'll walk out of that stadium after the game on Sunday, and we'll be talking about 3 points.
Who worries you?
What, for us or for them?
For them.
They've got Rashford, Pogba, Martial. They've got that Daniel James, who's a great talent. He's going to be a big player in the future. But I'm not worried about their backline. I think that's where we can get at them. I mean, I think our defense is probably more solid than their defense. So, you know, as long as the midfield is where it's going to be won or lost on Sunday, and we need Declan Rice, Noble, all the players to put in a shift. And if they walk off that pitch and you know they're tired and they've earned the 3 points, then they've done a fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely. Slim faces, we should have been good enough to beat Villa. I think that's a bit.
We are good enough to beat Villa. The thing is that it's the Premier League. You know, Villa could have beat Villa if Villa would have beat us. You know, if they had more chances than us, they had better chances than us. If it wasn't for Fabianski, we would have lost that game without a doubt.
Absolutely. Ryan King says finally he can get involved in a live chat from Australia. He's got to be up early to get involved in this. Anderson, for me, when he starts and doesn't get the first few runs of his opponent, he goes into himself and stays safe. Yeah, I agree with that. He does. He does do that. Dean Felton says 2-1 West Ham win Sunday. I fancy us for more. I think if we get one, we'll get 4.
Yeah, it's one of them games, isn't it? I mean, Man United could turn up and give us a good hiding. It's one of them. What's buzzing? Is that your phone?
Yeah, that's my phone, mate. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. John Italiano, worried that their missed shots and posts might turn into goals at some point. Well, you know, you have to just take it as it comes, mate. Rugby World Cup's on apparently. We had a story from the Rugby World Cup years ago, didn't we, Ryan? One of the Rugby World Cups when we went out on the pier, so we all took out that.
2007 World Cup when we lost to South Africa. Yeah, bastards. Yeah. Cheats.
Anything else?
No, I mean, one thing I did see is that Winston Reid looks like he's on his way back. Should be playing for the under-23s on Friday night.
Yeah,
which would be, you know, I just hope he can get fit. It's going to be tough for him though to work his way back into a matchday squad because good players are missing out on the matchday squad. It's a good headache for Pellegrini to have at the moment. At the moment, it's enjoyable being a West Ham fan, but it's like any football team, any club you support. If they're doing well, everyone's happy. It's whether we go through a little bad run because we have got some tough games coming up. I mean, you've got United this Sunday, then we go to Oxford in the Cup next week. Then we've got Bournemouth away, which would be tough. They turned over Everton last week, and they look a force at home. So it's gonna be. We just got to take each game as it comes. Get Man United out of the way. Concentrate on Oxford. Then we play Bournemouth.
Do you know what? I was thinking about this. Staminal said Reed will retire. He's done. I think if he breaks down this time, I think he might be. But if we can get him back fit, playing the way he was, a year or two back, he's an absolute unit on his day, isn't he?
Yeah.
As much as I love Reed, it's time to say goodbye. He'll never be in the first team in the Prem for West Ham. Any word on Reedy? What's going on? Contract lights. We just said that he's coming back, trying another comeback with the under-23s. Ryan King, if Yarmolenko tries another flick that doesn't come off again, my Vegemite on toast is getting chucked across the room. Again.
It's Marmite, not Vegemite.
Matt Powell, what do you think Maxi Gomez scoring just one goal in 5-6 appearances? Who's Maxi Gomez?
Who's Maxi Gomez? We was linked with him for about 20 years.
I know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really take any notice of... I ain't really noticed what he's been doing out there. I forgot all about him. It's all about Alea for me.
Yeah. Hawkins family, we've won 5, drew through and lost 2 in the last 10 games in the league. We're a so much better team now. Look, it all rolls over from next last season. We ended well. We ended up with 3 in a row at one point and then a draw. I think the last 4. I've got no light, mate. I'm going to have to cut this short in a minute because my son was meant to be coming in about 5 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago, actually, and he's not in yet. And he was meant to be following me in the door. So I'm going to have to cut it short in a second. Nicky put a light on. I ain't got a light. We are a better team now. We are a better team.
Yeah, definitely. We're a better club, mate. We seem to be going sort of in the right direction very slowly. But we are progressing, and as long as we can get consistent, because that's what lets us down a lot of times. We're not just consistent enough. But as I said, we're unbeaten since the opening day of the season. A 5-0 loss to City could have crippled us earlier in the season. We could have had heads down, but we've got some good results away from home. As I said, we're unbeaten away from home in the league and cup. So if we can keep that up this season, get a few more wins on the road. I see Harry Redknapp's comments today on TalkSport that he reckons it's between us and Leicester to break into that top 6. And I sort of agree with him because I think that us, Leicester, are going to be sort of... We're going to surprise a few teams this year, I think. I think we're going to surprise a few people.
Following on from that, mate, Terry Butler, what do you think of the pundits saying we should have been considered for top 7?
Yeah, I agree. Look, when you look at our squad, from goalkeeper down to striker, we've got a great squad. We've got a great set of players. It's probably one of the best squads technically that I've seen since I've been supporting West Ham. We've got players that can come off the bench and change games now. Where you go back to a few years ago, we struggled to get a bench. So it's good, and you see players like Jack Wilshere and Snodgrass missing out on match day squads. It's great at the moment. I just long may it continue, and it's just as long as we can keep players fit and we can be consistent, there's no reason why we can't break into the top 6.
Duvet Dancer says, would you offer Pellegrini an extension at the end of the season?
I'm not sure what he's got left on his deal at the moment, but if he has a great season, why not? Maybe a 1-year extension. I think Pellegrini, he sort of split the fan base a bit at the beginning of the season, but after a 5-0 defeat, I think a lot of people sort of jumped the gun a bit. But I like Pellegrini. I think Pellegrini's he's a calm man. Sometimes I like to see him a bit more animated on the touchline, but look, that's his game. He's not like Slaven Bilic never used to sit down. Pellegrini sits down. It's just managers have got different styles, but I like Pellegrini, and if he has a great season, why not?
I spoke about identity on a fan cam last season, 2 true draw about finding identity. We've found that it's just taken time, and we have built slowly and the right way. Great to see, says Ryan King again. True Claret and Blue says, do you think pundits are pressuring Rice? Is it putting too much pressure on him for a 20-year-old?
I think pundits have been a bit harsh on Declan Rice, if I'm honest. I think Declan Rice is a young international 20-year-old. He's got over 70 games now for West Ham in the Premier League. Not many 20-year-olds have played 70 games for their clubs. So I think they just need to back him. The one thing with this country, and it's been like it for years, they always seem to find a scapegoat and want to get on the back of it. They've done it with Rooney, they've done it with Beckham, they've done it with Owen at one time when he was younger. I just don't see why the press and that want to do it. Get behind them.
They always have to find someone, mate. It annoys me. It annoys me greatly. To be honest, it's when I heard some of the comments from people like, this is what annoys me about punditry in general. When I heard some of the comments from ex players like Charlie Nicholas and all that sort of thing. Charlie Nicholas was calling for him to be dropped against Villa and said he would expect him to be dropped because of his performances. Listen, for West Ham, he's spot on week in, week out. He makes very, very few mistakes, has very, very few bad performances. It just, to me, it just highlights the fact that they all copy one another because they all seem to be saying it at the same time. One person has an opinion and they all sort of copy that. And it's because they don't watch anything outside the top six enough. They concentrate every little out. You look at Sky Sports, there could be games going along and they're printing stories about Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham. You know what I mean? As games are going along, you wouldn't even know there was a game going along. One of them are playing. It's all over the front page. It's pages and pages. It just goes to show you that they don't look outside the top six, and their opinion is not valid because they don't watch these players. They don't watch them. It's quite evident. These people are getting paid because they made a name in football, 40 years ago. I spoke to a friend of mine who is a big fan of Tottenham, and I asked him whether he would like to interview an ex-Tottenham player who my family knows, and he said no, not really. He's 20 years out the game. He wouldn't really know what's what anything about the modern game, and it's he said before he doesn't watch Tottenham and all that sort of thing, which I do sort of agree with, but it just shows you that outside the top six, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I was very surprised.
I think your son's back. Yeah, he is back. And when I get off the live stream, he's in big trouble.
I was surprised with comments from people like Gary Neville and Ian Wright as well, because Ian Wright's always been a passionate England fan, loves the young players. But it seemed to me that he got on Declan Rice's back a bit, and so did Gary Neville. But look, all Declan Rice has got to do is keep doing what he's doing.
Gary Neville, bearing in mind that not long ago, mate, he was working with England.
Yeah, I know. But maybe he didn't have a Declan Rice, did he? So maybe that's why he's a bit bitter, and he's a failed manager himself and a coach. So I'm not really worried as long as Declan Rice keeps doing what he's doing for West Ham, gets his head down, does his football. He'll always be in the England squads now. I think he's that's sort of cemented that place for him. You always find that it's just rival fans on Twitter and social media that get a little bit, because if Declan Rice was playing for Tottenham, if he was playing for Chelsea, if he was playing for Man United, they'd all be up his arse. So
if he was playing for any of them clubs, mate, they would have watched him more. That's the end of the day. Yeah? That's the by and large of things. They don't watch anything outside the top six. They rely on each other. They pick up an opinion and they go, well, I haven't really watched him, but he seems to know what he's talking about. To save me looking like a plonker, I'll say what he said, and then it goes on and on and on. Matt Powell says, how many West Ham fan TV shirts have you both got? We've got them all. We bought them all.
Yeah, I've got. It's my favourite one, so I love that one. I've got. I've got quite a few. I've got some better colours now than the first batch.
I haven't got the Anderson and Hilaire ones. That's the only one
I have. If you buy one of them, make sure you get 2 sizes bigger because they are tight.
Roy Keane is also full of piss and vinegar. True or false? The quality of our season is almost entirely decided on whether Haller remains fit throughout the season.
Yeah,
I
of
would
course it
certainly
is.
say it would be until January. We're linked to a good few players in January. Players like Mandzukic, who I think will come in and do an absolute sterling job if he comes to us.
The
Honestly,
thing is,
I'm a massive
Sebastian
fan.
Haller the other night when he got tackled and he looks like he's I'll touch wood, but he seems to like a challenge. He finds it's part of the game and he gets straight back up. If that was Andy Carroll, he'd be out for 6 months with that challenge. So maybe he's one of them old fashioned strikers that don't mind a tackle.
He's got a very good injury record. Very good.
Yeah,
He's 20.
but
He's had one injury his whole career,
yeah,
and that was last year.
yeah. I've seen a lot of players come to West Ham and have good injury records, and then they come to us and they're out for a long time. So look, as long as we keep him fit, he's going to be a massive, massive part of what we can achieve this season, without a doubt.
I think he's talking about the t-shirts. It took their time for them to come for you, Ryan. That was his fault. He ordered the wrong sizes.
No. I ordered the right size. You ordered the wrong size.
No. That's not true. That's not true.
Yes. No, I told you. I said swap.
We'll have a discussion off air about this. James Calais, did we think Mandzukic will actually come to West Ham? Seems a bit funny how we're quite on transfers, but this one is everywhere. I hope so. I'm a massive fan of his.
It'd be a massive deal for West Ham. Yeah. Massive.
The t-shirts come in XXXXXXL. Look, they fit me, mate. The biggest ones fit me, and they're too big for me. Some of them, so yeah, they're very well. Cresswell didn't have one injury in his entire career before he joined West Ham.
Exactly. See, Dean Ashton, it fucking sums it up.
To be fair though, Cress got a bad injury, and he ain't had many since then.
Look, footballers are going to pick up injuries. This part and parcel of the game, unfortunately, because now they're athletes now. They're not football players. They're athletes. You look at the olden days, players used to get whacks and they'd carry on playing. Nowadays, their bodies are so finely tuned that a little knock. And the thing is, you look at football boots now. I was talking about this yesterday to someone in work. Football boots now, there's hardly no leather on them. It's like wearing a plastic bag on your feet. Back in the old days, you had proper thick leather boots, and that's why a lot of football players, when they get people tread on their toes,
they've been. I remember them boots starting to go like that when I was playing. They sacrifice sort of protection. I remember my old boots, mate, Umbro Specials, a pair of old Predators I had, Puma Kings I had at one point. All World Cups I wore for 6 or 7 years when I was playing. They was my favourite boots. Adidas World Cups, all thick leather boots. The thing is with these people, because it's such a fine game, because it's such a fine margins in the games, they sacrifice a protection for speed. If someone can get like a 0.001 millisecond advantage on the next player, it means a lot in football. So they sacrifice that protection for these plastic bags, as you describe them, like plastic bags.
Back when I talking about football boots though, back when I was playing, we used to warm up and you'd look at the opposition team and whoever had colour boots on used to target them. You used to think, right, he's going down. The flash winger in the pink boots, or the oversized centre midfielder who's got red boots on. You're thinking, right, he's getting clattered. I just wore black. I still do it now when I play in games. I wear black boots.
Black boots are the rarity now.
I remember I had the plain black boots with like a big, massive white Nike tick on them, and I thought they was over the top. But I've seen kids wearing all sorts these days.
Mav the B says, do you think Haller would benefit with having Anderson or Lanzini playing next to him like Jovic did?
Yeah, it could do. It could do. Probably more Lanzini, if I would be honest, out of them two. I think Lanzini's can play that role. But
it would have benefited from having Chicharito up top with him, probably.
Yeah, only if we could have like a Hernandez player, But yeah, it's look. And we're spoilt with choice at the moment. It's a good thing for Pellegrini. That's why he's paid that sort of money. And as us fans, we want to turn up. I love going to the game now, waiting for that team sheet to come out, thinking right, who's starting. And I look at the bench as well, and I think fucking hell, that's a strong bench. So it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he needs players around him, says James Calais. Cresswell's a one-season wonder. Used to be good at crossing, but now he hits the first man every time. Rather see Khan play left back. Zaba.
It's a shame that Masuaku's missing this game, because I thought Masuaku was just settling into that left back spot. And look, he only misses one game.
Well, he's actually got some great stats in Europe. I think he's top left back in Europe on stat. Something like that, yeah. John Italiano, 1985. Which Whftv host was the best player in their day? I don't know. It was all shit.
Different positions.
Yeah. We all played in different positions. Graham and Scott were fullbacks. Ryan was a central midfielder. I was a centre forward.
I won player of the year though.
Yeah, he won player of the year. I scored at Upton Park. I scored 2. Terence Crane, Ryan and Nicky, do you think if we play like we did against Villa, Man United will beat us? No, I don't think they will.
Yeah, we've got to up our game against United, because United are a better team than Villa, without a doubt, and they've got players that can finish. I mean, I can't remember his name. I'm getting bad with names when I'm older, but the Villa striker, Jesus Christ, they're gonna struggle with him up front.
R1 Gaming, Graham was like Ronaldinho, I'm sure of it.
More like Ronald McDonald.
Yeah. Oh God, that's sick of me. He was very good. He probably played at the highest level, Graham. To be honest.
Yeah, no, he was decent. To be fair,
he was very good.
He was our David Unsworth.
He still plays now. Oh, goat.
I've got a game coming up in a few weeks.
Have you? Fuck that. Jake Rumble, we need that to shift Cresswell. He never got past the man or actually crosses. He discovered a way to hide on the pitch for a while now. I think that injury done him.
I think a lot of players over the last couple of years have gone hiding on the pitch. It's not.
We were disciplined against Villa. We would throw that game away. Monday,
that should be. I think what he's trying to say is that previous years we'd have thrown a game like that away, and that's the thing. I think our attitude when we went down to 10 men was unbelievable. I've seen us crumble. I've seen us in previous seasons. We'll probably end up losing that 3-0 after that red card. But we were still looking to win that game in the 93rd minute.
That's the good thing about it. I think what West Ham did there, I think they sensed a bit of nervousness and frustration from Villa, and thought to themselves, "Well, we can still hit these on the break. That they are not very strong up front. They're not holding the ball well. I think we had the ball more when we was down to 10 men. We're still going to beat Man United 2-1, says Ben Watts. That's the spirit, mate. Mounty Badger, Cresswell just got a winner on Sunday, and Whftv, I don't know who that is, to make a shirt of him afterwards. Yeah.
We'll make a T-shirt, in Cresswell we trust.
In Cress we trust. Yeah, I think that's about it, mate. I'm spent, really.
Yeah, not really much more. I'm sure it'll be more to talk about next Monday night. But yeah, don't forget, T-shirts still on sale.
I've got a Ralphie on today. I've put mine in a wash.
This is one of our designs. Probably this is the most popular design.
There's new ones coming soon. I spoke to the designer today. We're going to start to finalise some new ones for the beginning of October. I think a Carlos Tevez one might be in order with Sheffield United coming up with. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to say to you. I forgot all about it until we've just said the Sheffield United. Did you see their owner today?
I see something about Bin Laden, isn't it?
He's taken a loan from the Bin Laden family.
He was saying that you can't judge a family on one person. I think there's more than one person bad in that family. But
I think his son got killed last month because he was telling everyone to kill Americans.
There you go. I don't know. I'm not interested and all that.
Though, isn't it? You can't be just bringing that into football, surely. He took a loan from them.
Well,
From the family.
they need.
What are they done with the money we give them?
I don't know.
Spunked out the wall.
Spunked out the wall. Now they've got. Yeah. I see something. I was doing stuff a little while ago before I come on here, and I had Sky Sports News on. I could hear it in the background. I see him sitting there talking about Bin Laden's family, and I just didn't take no notice.
Oh, one game it says. To be honest, the Premier League should intervene on that. Bin Laden's great family disowned him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, maybe, yeah. Let's not
We'll steer away from that a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I'm not too fussed.
Ryan King says, "Nice one, lads. Good to watch a live. Back to sleep now. 3 points on Sunday. Lanzini first goal scorer. Have a lovely sleep, mate. I hope we keep you up too long.
Thank you for watching. Great name as well.
Eh?
Great name as well.
Ryan, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. We'll be back on Monday, obviously with another live stream. There's content coming up all through this week.
Do you know what? Can I just say one thing, mate?
Yeah.
You're reading all the comments.
Yeah.
I've noticed I've seen a comment come up twice now, and I think you've skipped it. Matt Powell. Any news on your forfeit, Nicky?
Oh yeah, there it is.
See, there it is. Yeah. What's that? Delete. Log off. Yeah, we'll have to sort that out. We're gonna. This is after the game on Sunday, after post match pint. We're gonna sort something out.
Ken Hammers, what's the sizing come up like on them t-shirts, Ryan?
Yeah, well, this is triple XL. No, they come up. If you're a large, get a medium.
Yeah, I would say they do come out very. No, do you know what? I'm up for the forfeit. Do you know what? I'm not going to have no involvement in it because I'm easily, I get easily agitated and I like to take control of things. So the boys have got to sit down and talk between themselves, come up with something.
Yeah, it's not going to be nothing like eating a chili or nothing.
Whatever
like
they
that.
come up with, I'll do it.
Maybe I might get onto the t-shirt designers and have a little secret t-shirt made for you that you got to wear at a match game, match day.
All right. Thank you very much.
Arsenal are 3-0 up.
Oh, that's good. How long left?
Aubameyang scored in the 87th minute, so there's a couple of minutes left.
They'll still lose 4-3. Yeah, thank you very much. Look. So this is what you bring up. This is annoying me. Got to get to wear a Spurs shirt. Go to a Tottenham game. I'm not doing any of that.
Well, it's our choice, mate. I might make you go to a Tottenham game in a West Ham shirt. Sit in the home end so you get a good hiding.
I'm not wearing a full kit. I can't even fit into the t-shirt. Elements. The 115 says Pixel t-shirt. Matt Powell is being kind. Nothing that we're getting beaten up.
Yeah, nothing.
Payet's face on a snake
on your ass. But maybe, or we'll sort something out. We'll sort something good out for you.
All right, mate. No problem. All right, thank you very much for watching. As I said before, there's content coming up all this week as we build up to Manchester United. Go and check out the t-shirts. They're in the link in the description down below.
I see that it says that comment says streak. I thought it said steak.
Yeah, I have a steak. There's content coming up all the way through. Go and follow us on Twitter at West Ham Fan TV, Facebook, social media, all at West Ham Fan TV. It's getting very dark now, mate. I'm getting shadows over my face. I've got one thing left to say.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.